Thank you so much, Jesse. Well, it was known as the Day of Days, the greatest military invasion in history. Thousands of people were involved in D-Day. And the man who Americans turned to for an account of the battle was Indiana's Ernie Pyle. As you watch this story, think about the 2,501 Americans who were killed on the beaches of Normandy. The peacefulness of the Ernie Pyle Museum in Dana, Indiana sits in stark contrast to the violence and carnage of D-Day. Ernie Pyle knew both very well. The humble beginnings in Dana molded him into seeking out people like himself, the common man.
Ernie Pyle covered what was every day, and that's what people were curious about.
Slight of stature, this giant of American journalism first became known to the public as the Hoosier Vagabond. His folksy stories were enjoyed by loyal readers. When World War II broke out, Pyle got involved. While other journalists wrote about strategies and tactics and talked to generals, Pyle wrote about the sons and daughters of everyday Americans.
You can see in his writing that this would be really easy for some father at a dinner table to just pull up the column and read it to his children.
On the 6th of June, 1944, Pyle was on a ship off the Normandy coast. Then, on D-Day +1, Pyle landed on Omaha Beach. What he saw shocked him, and he wrote about it in a style that stirred emotions and grief. It was a lovely day for strolling along the seashore. Men were sleeping on the sand, some of them sleeping forever. Men were floating in the water, but they didn't know they were in the water, or they were dead. In another article, he wrote about the curious and tragic items that cover the beaches. Here are the socks and shoe polish, sewing kits, diaries, Bibles, and hand grenades. Here are the latest letters from home, with the address on each one. I picked up a pocket Bible with a soldier's name in it and put it in my jacket. I carried it for a half-mile or so, and then I put it back down on the beach. I don't know why I picked it up or why I put it back down. He also wrote, soldiers carry strange things ashore with them. In every invasion, you'll find at least one soldier hitting the beach with a banjo. The most ironic piece of equipment is a tennis racket. It lies lonesomely on the sand, clamped in its rack, not a string broken. He continued, always there are dogs in every invasion. There is a dog still on the beach today, still pitifully looking for his masters. Pyle finished one column with this tragic discovery. As I plowed over the wet sand, I walked around what seemed to be a couple of pieces of driftwood sticking out of the sand. But they weren't driftwood. They were a soldier's 2 feet. The toes of his GI shoes pointed toward the land he had come so far to see, and which he saw so briefly. I encourage you to look up some of Pyle's work. Oh, and please consider taking a trip to Dana to visit the Ernie Pyle Museum. The museum also pays tribute to the local men and women who answered the call of duty.